Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fast Forward's 10th Demo Day. 10 years, my friends. I'm Kevin Barenblatt.
I'm Shannon Farley. We are co-founders of Fast Forward, and we could not be more honored to welcome you all to watch this virtual Demo Day from all over the world.
For 10 years, entrepreneurs building a more just world have taken the Demo Day stage. They've shared with us their bold solutions for problems they've lived, and those visions have come true. Check out these stats. Over 10 years, the 79 tech nonprofits in Fast Forward's portfolio have impacted 139 million lives and raised over $500 million in follow-on funding.
But it didn't start out this way. We wanted to go on a little journey back to the earliest days of Fast Forward. We have learned a lot since then. So we thought it would be nice to share some of the lessons we've gleaned along the way. Here we are at our first Demo Day in 2014. And that first year, it was hard, like really, really, really hard to get people in the room. But we knew that it mattered to have the right people there. Which brings us to our first lesson: invite all the most important people in tech and get them in the room. What can I say? We tried. We have done better.
This is the welcome sign from that first Demo Day. In the beginning, no one knew Fast Forward, but everyone knew our first partners, BlackRock and Google. We could have leveraged those logos, which brings us to lesson number 2. Really highlight your partners and make them feel special. We're sorry, BlackRock and Google. That was a fail.
Total fail. We're sorry. This is the name tag table from that night. It was our first time throwing an event like that, and we just didn't know what to expect. We wanted to be ready for anyone to show up, which comes to our third lesson: be prepared. We were in the Google office. It was totally possible that Eric Schmidt could have walked by and would have wanted to wear a name tag, right?
That very first cohort, in 2014, we dreamed that there would be one breakout star. Turns out, we were dreaming too small.
Kia from Serum went from not even committing to purchasing a branded t-shirt. We picked up that red number at Walgreens on the day of the event, to speaking before the TED audience, sharing that Serum had redistributed over $200 million of medicine to low-income patients. Now, Demo Day used to happen right after Burning Man, and so Katie from Nora may or may not have rolled out of her art car and onto the Demo Day stage. That is playa dust in her hair. Well, last year, Nora spoke before the TED audience and shared that they had trained 3 million caregivers. Yeah, give it up for Nora.
The other 3 nonprofits that Shannon didn't mention, they're doing great. We feel really lucky to have been able to support these entrepreneurs early in the journey. But the truth is, we're lucky they bet on us.
Seriously.
You're about to meet 10 rising tech nonprofit leaders. They hail from 10 cities across 4 continents. And in 10 years, they too will be making profound impact. Over the last 3 months, each organization has received a $25,000 grant, comprehensive training, and guidance for over 100 mentors. They've refined their business models, theories of change, and products.
And we had a lot of fun along the way. So join us for our 20th Demo Day, where I would love to share a few stories about this crew. Thank you to our amazing partners for making this work possible. They believe in the potential of tech to solve our biggest challenges. And they have doubled down because they too believe a better world is possible. Thank you. And now on to Demo Day. You ready?
Let's do it.
Demo Day!
Demo Day!
I am a disabled bus driver. I drove for over 25 years. Last year, I broke my toe and I incurred some hospital bills that I was not able to pay. I applied for financial assistance on the back of the bill, and I got denied. So I just kind of gave up. I really was kind of depressed about it. I had been watching TV and the news was on, and they had talked about $4 by Jared. He has an organization that helps people sign up for financial assistance for hospital bills. And so I wrote down the information, I got online, and I submitted everything that they requested. And they ended up helping me get a $1,711 bill paid that I wouldn't have been able to pay if it wasn't for their help. The elimination of debt really can change someone's life.
Hello everyone, my name is Jared Walker. I'm the founder of $4. At $4, we believe a medical crisis shouldn't mean a financial crisis. Unfortunately, for over 100 million Americans, it does. I watched my own family go through this and realized how devastating it can be. In America, there's almost $200 billion in outstanding medical debt. But there's a big secret. Millions and millions of Americans are on payment plans or declaring bankruptcy for medical bills that they don't have to pay. When the Affordable Care Act passed, it required nonprofit hospitals, which is most in America, to have charity care. Simply put, if you are within a certain income range, hospitals will waive your medical bills. They actually have to. We'll all be shocked to find out, hospitals don't do a great job of telling people about this. So we do. 2 years ago, I was shouting from the rooftops trying to tell people all about charity care. And finally I gave in. I made a TikTok account. Don't judge me. My first video, I told people what charity care was and how to access it. And it turns out people are desperate for this information. And giving out the cheat codes to hospital bills went viral. A few times, actually. And $4 responded. For the first time ever, we captured the charity care policy data for every hospital in the country. And here is how it works for our patients. They go to our website, put in their household size, income, and what hospital holds the debt, and our product will tell them immediately if they're eligible. We then complete the necessary paperwork, submit it to the hospital, and advocate on their behalf until the medical bills are gone. In the last 2 years, $4 has eliminated over $26 million in medical debt. Thank you. Over 30,000 patients have completed our screener, and we use that data to reveal the most egregious and predatory hospitals. Through patient advocacy, we are driving policy change at the hospital and state level. We've already brought policy change to over 40 different hospitals and even helped Oregon State rewrite their charity care law. We've been fortunate enough to receive funding and support from folks like Reid Hoffman, Anthony Wood, and Draper Richards Kaplan. Philanthropic support helps us keep our services completely free. We're raising $1.7 million to fully automate our patient experience so we can scale support to the 100 million Americans struggling with medical debt. A medical bill shouldn't get in the way of your education, your housing, or putting food on the table. You shouldn't lose everything because you get sick. A medical crisis shouldn't mean a financial crisis. Thank you all so much.
This is my 26th year as a school counselor in the state of Vermont. And a big piece of my job is doing what's called prevention work and helping students learn really important social emotional learning skills at the universal level. With Closegap, it's a game changer because as students are checking in throughout the week, I know how students are doing. And so I can see in real time who might need some support. That changes the game completely in terms of being able to support students and their mental health. And you can be sitting in a sea of other students and no one needs to know that you're asking for support right now, or that your day has been a little bit stressful, or you're gonna be using some of these coping skills. You're gonna practice in doing your belly breaths. And so for students to be able to, in the moment, regulate, use the tools that Closegap is suggesting that they could use to help them based on how they're feeling is amazing. It changes the way that I can do my job and best support students and families.
Hi, my name is Rachel Miller. I'm the founder and CEO of Closegap. We are facing a youth mental health crisis. Young people are more anxious, depressed, and suicidal than they've ever been, and it's getting worse. But young people are in schools with trusted adults every day. And if we look to the research, we know that the single most essential driver of youth mental health is a strong relationship with a trusted adult. Schools are the missing link, but they lack reliable ways to monitor student needs in real time and at scale. So that's where Closegap comes in. We built a free daily mental health check-in for K-12 students. It's a safe digital space where students check in with how they feel and ask for help if they need it. School staff get real-time alerts and a triaged roster of their students so they know who to follow up with early and often. And it turns out, when we ask young people how they feel, they tell us. Take Marla, a quiet, well-behaved sixth grader with good grades. But what Marla's teachers missed was that she was struggling with suicidal ideation and self-harm and had been since the second grade. Following Marla's check-in, her school counselor intervened, and now I'm happy to report that Marla's doing very well and has all the supports that she needs in place. Thank you. This is the impact from one check-in. We've captured over 5 million. Thank you. We've uncovered cases of suicidality, self-harm, trouble at home, sexual assault, and food insecurity that would otherwise go unnoticed. And we're redirecting the school's attention to where it can make the biggest difference. Our flagship product is completely free for schools and always will be. To keep it free, we have a premium upgrade that aggregates check-in data so schools and districts can spot trends across demographics and unlock federal funding. We've captured over 100K in ARR and will double that next school year. Thank you. We are a team of parents, teachers, and social workers who have lived the problem we're solving. And thanks to our partners, we've proven that this works and it's scalable. We 10x'd our student user base. We now serve over 200,000 students across all 50 states. Thank you. And as you can imagine, we want to keep that momentum going. So we're raising $1 million to reach 1 million more students by the end of next school year. In a lot of ways, what we're doing is very simple. We're checking in. But it's this simple act at scale that can create systems of care that actually hold our young people so they can be young and well. Thank you.
पिले भल पाठ पढ़तु पिले केमती दी पैसा रोजगार करतु तांको खुशी रे आमे खुशी आ चेन पिंदिया बयस नै आमे कारीगर पैसा रे अभाव रे तांको भल पाठ पढ़ाई पारिलु उत्सव ग्रहण संभवर उत्सव ग्रहण संभवर सेडा बहुत भल लागिला मनटा भी बहुत फ्री लागिला केते बेले टिके मन बोर रहिले काम फाम करला बेले टिके 9-10 राति परे जाइकी टिके फांका टाइम रे बसिकी टिके गपे आशा रखिची मो नातुणी टिके केंदी भल रे टिके पाठ पढेबी आ प्राइवेट स्कूल रे पढेबी सी केंदी गोटे दुनिया रे भल मनीष हो आगु करबा पई बहुत आग्रह बढ़िबो एते परिश्रम करके पैसा नि गपी गपी की टिके पैसा नि सेतरे तो बहुत खुशी लागियो
I grew up in one of the poorest corners of Delhi, a neighborhood called Shakur Basti. I spent my afternoons dancing on Bollywood songs and coding in the community computer lab. Through a series of scholarships, I became the first person from my community to go to a college in the US. In one generation, I went from Shakur Basti to Stanford. But my story is not normal. India has 230 million poor people, more than any other country in the world. And for most of them, there is no clear path out of poverty. Hi, my name is Manu Chopra, and I am the CEO of Karya. Karya is the Sanskrit word for work that gives you dignity. And that's exactly what we do. We bring dignified digital work to rural Indians, helping move them out of poverty. Every year, big tech companies spend billions of dollars collecting training data for their AI models. Unfortunately, rural Indians don't have access to this work. Karya bridges this gap. Let me walk you through an example. Microsoft wants to build a language model in Marathi, one of India's many regional languages. They reach out to Karya to collect thousands of hours of speech data in Marathi. Karya takes Microsoft's big digital tasks and breaks it into micro tasks. And we distribute these micro tasks to our workers in rural India via their smartphone. For this simple task, we pay our workers 20 times the Indian minimum wage. Workers like Reshma. Reshma's community had no internet. This was her first time ever using a smartphone. Despite that, with just a few minutes of training, she was able to successfully start recording sentences in her local language on her smartphone. Our high wage rate enabled Reshma to leave her village, and she became the first girl from her community to go to college. At Karya, we are reimagining how AI models are trained. We create worker-owned data sets. Our platform is built on 5 years of peer-reviewed research. It is open source, and it doesn't even need the internet. Today, over 30,000 rural Indians have completed 30 million paid tasks on the Karya platform. This scale is made possible by our incredible partners, including the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Microsoft, and of course, Fast Forward. I met my co-founders, Vivek and Safia, at Microsoft Research, and we became obsessed with the idea of using AI to improve rural livelihoods. So we decided to work on this full time. That was 5 years ago. Today, millions of rural Indians have access to a smartphone and a bank account. And yet, rural India remains one of the world's poorest areas. At Karya, our goal is to fix this, to dramatically accelerate social mobility in rural India. We are raising $1 million to scale our tech and operations. This will enable us to put 1 million people on a pathway out of poverty by 2025. Let's get started today. Thank you.
We're serving people that are fleeing their countries because they're facing persecution and because their lives are at risk. When I first started with Al Otro Lado, we had a clinic 7 days a week, and they would be able to receive legal orientation, talk to a lawyer, help get preparation for their case. When the pandemic happened and we had to close our physical doors, it became much more difficult to provide these services. Mobile Pathways has been vital for helping us reach migrants in this new reality, and the technology that Mobile Pathways provides allows us to spread information about border policy and migrants' rights to a much larger group of people. And so this technology has allowed us to get life-saving information into the hands of migrants before they even arrive at the US-Mexico border, so that they're able to make as much as possible informed decisions for them and their family.
My name is Ana Ortega Villegas. I'm the program director at Mobile Pathways. As an immigration advocate, I've spent a lot of time at borders like Tijuana shouting legal information at crowds. The people I have served have traveled thousands of miles, fleeing persecution and seeking safety. They deserve better. Immigration cases are very complicated and often come with unexpected changes. These changes are communicated in English through physical mail. However, most people in the immigration process don't have a stable address. But what they do have is a cell phone. We started Mobile Pathways to leverage this powerful tool to connect immigrants to advocates and attorneys in real time at scale. It's very simple. Immigrants need information on court proceedings, policy changes, and safety. But our government is making staying informed very difficult. Missing a legal update often results in deportation and family separation. To meet the need, we have partnered with 150 organizations that provide key information to immigrants in their native languages. To date, we have reached over 1.4 million immigrants. We amplify their impact. Through our texting platform, partners like Maddie have expanded their reach 10 times. But there's more work to be done. You're probably thinking, isn't this a service that the US government should be providing, like DMV appointment reminders? We agree, and that's why we are a nonprofit. We are scraping difficult to find public information and are making it accessible and free. We are using our data to advocate for policy level change. Mobile Pathways is made up of immigrants like myself who know the difficult maze we are forced to navigate. Our team of advocates, attorneys, and technologists are creating the products I wish I had when I was shouting at the border. We are seeking $1 million to expand our work from California to Texas and to double the number of people served. We will do this by adding new partners, data automation, and direct marketing. With Mobile Pathways, I have witnessed the power of one text providing safety and knowledge to people in need. Everyone deserves to feel informed, prepared, and hopeful. I urge you to join us. Muchas gracias.
It's like my life is moving without me.
I've been so anxious lately. I'm about to enter college and I'm scared to grow up.
I can't seem to figure anything out. I can barely understand my emotions, let alone myself.
I just feel like I'm a punching bag for everyone to use.
I was really lost, but the Coco community taught me to love myself, to treat myself like the outstanding queen I am.
It seems like all one needs to make it through the day is a genuine, heartfelt message from a stranger you'll never know.
Being able to rise to the occasion for others has helped me find a voice in myself.
It heals the wounds in my heart.
Coco has made my life much easier. It makes me feel like someone actually cares.
Please don't struggle in silence. I have tried that and it's painful. Reach out to someone, anyone.
Coco is always available.
Hello everyone, I'm Rob Morris. I'm co-founder and CEO of Coco. And our mission is to help end the youth mental health crisis. And we are indeed facing a crisis. In the past year, 13% of young people in the US reported attempting suicide. 13%. Now, it can take years for someone struggling with mental health to actually get help. And yet there are millions of young people reaching out for help right now on the platforms they use every day. TikTok, Snapchat, etc. But these platforms weren't designed to treat mental health. If anything, for many people, they make things worse. Imagine, though, if all the millions of young people reaching out for help online actually got help. We could create the largest mental health intervention in history. My co-founder and I are working to make this possible. Together, we sold a startup to Airbnb. I've been working in digital mental health for about 10 years, but Coco is what I am most proud of. It's something I developed for myself when I was a grad student at MIT, struggling with my own serious mental health issues. It's something I wish I had when I was much younger. So how does Coco work? So imagine a young person, maybe they're 15, and they go online and they're searching for pro-anorexia content on social networks. Ordinarily, they might see videos of young people starving themselves or sharing dangerous weight loss strategies. But let me show you a different story. Imagine this person searches for this content again, but this time they don't see anything harmful. Our algorithms detect it and suppress it. And instead, they get a direct message from Coco guiding them to our peer support service, our interventions for body image, depression, self-harm, etc. One click, and they are on an entirely different mental health trajectory. And this is just one example of how we use this tool. We embed Coco throughout the internet, reaching young people wherever they are. Our engagement numbers are extremely high, and we're very, very proud of this. We have the undivided attention of teenagers online, which is like the most rare element in the universe. And we're using it to get them help. So, does it work? Yes, we are among the most evidence-based services in the market with multiple peer-reviewed papers, multiple randomized controlled trials. Every day, we help young people who are struggling with suicidal thoughts. Every day, we help young people feel better about themselves and their bodies. We've 10x'd our growth in the past year, and we've reached over 2 million young people. We're just getting started. We want to see a world where any teen in need can access a service like this for free. Zero friction, completely ubiquitous. We're seeking $1 million to grow our impact and help treat 10,000 new young people a day. This isn't a hypothetical. We have a solution, it's working, it's getting bigger and better. And this isn't just about mental health. This is about saving a generation. Please join us. Thank you.
I grew up in a farming community who were passionate about agriculture. Being a farmer in Kenya, it is not easy because of global warming, lack of support from the government, and unreliable sources of energy. Fresh produce goes bad in a matter of hours, thus making refrigeration more critical to farmers as myself. I use solar freeze to store vegetables for longer periods and look for better markets with higher prices. I used to lose over 50% of produce due to post-harvest loss, since lack of preservation meant that within 3 days, the produce will go to waste or be forced to sell at rock bottom prices. Solar freeze matters because it gives farmers a viable option.
I'd like to begin by telling you the story of my grandmother. She's a smallholder farmer. She grows mostly vegetables like kales, tomatoes, and mangoes on a small plot of land down in Makueni, which is in eastern Kenya. My Nana's livelihood is tied to what she grows and sells. But every season, almost half of what she grows goes to waste before it reaches the market. That's almost half of our income. Farmers across Africa don't have access to fridges that will preserve the food they grow. This is a problem for over 500 million smallholder farmers across Africa. Solar Freeze preserves and increases income for smallholder farmers. We build and rent out solar-powered fridges. It's sort of a sustainable Airbnb for vegetables. Plus, we leverage on SMS and WhatsApp to text farmers with up-to-the-minute market information so that they can earn a fair price for their harvest. Here's how it works for farmers like my Nana. After harvest, farmers deliver their food to a Solar Freeze cold storage. They rent out fridge space to store crates of produce, avoiding market gluts. This matters. For example, the price of tomatoes can change by 5 times depending on the day of sale. So, to take it a step further, we aggregate market information and text farmers about when they should sell their harvest and for how much. This way, they know they can get the best price for that crate of tomatoes. We are a non-profit. We can charge farmers an affordable price of 4 US cents per crate per day. We focus on the farmers in most need. To reach them, we partner with local co-ops. We are able to work with these farmers because they can access M-Pesa, which is like an East African version of Venmo. Our services have increased farmers' income by $2 million US since we began our operations. We're also solving a climate issue, food waste. Food waste makes up to 6% of all greenhouse gas emissions. Plus, our fridges run on solar energy, a sustainable alternative to fuel-intensive diesel-generated fridges. I got an opportunity to study renewable energy at UC Davis. My parents expected me to stay in the US, but I decided to return home to solve the challenges I saw while growing up. I launched Solar Freeze with a team of engineers, agriculturalists, and renewable energy experts, as well as salespeople. Next up, we are raising $750,000 US to expand into 5 new regions, namely Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, DRC, and Ethiopia. We can improve the economic opportunities of farmers across Africa. It starts with cold storage. Join us in bringing prosperity to the farmers who feed us. Thank you.
Growing up, the idea of making it out of poverty felt like something that was more so in a movie and less of something that I could actually make a reality for my family. As I was trying to explore different avenues of what I want to do after high school, I was initially very confused about what was even available to me. I wasn't able to speak much about this with my parents or with my siblings because they didn't go to college. I stumbled upon Road to Uni initially on Instagram, and I decided to actually utilize the platform. Road to Uni provides different resources that are needed to perform well in the college application process. And I think it was that vivid illustration of what I could be through the Road to Uni platform that allowed me to make that a realization. I applied to 24 colleges and I was accepted to 22. Alongside that, I applied to multiple scholarships, and currently I am fully funded at Stanford.
Hello, my name is Cielo Villa, and I am the founder of Road to Uni. Road to Uni is a digital counselor that guides first-generation low-income students through the college application process. I immigrated to this country when I was 7 years old. My parents and I made a lot of sacrifices, but one thing they insisted on was that I go to college. For me, going to college on a full scholarship was not an option. So I was on a mission. But when I began to actually think about applying to college, I was at a loss. No one around me had been through this process before. I had tons of questions like, what do I need in order to apply? When do I apply? And where exactly do I apply? It wasn't until I was accepted by a competitive college prep program that I began to get some answers. With her guidance, I earned the Gates Millennium Scholarship and graduated from Wellesley College without debt. After realizing how much access to quality guidance had changed my own trajectory, I became a private college advisor and have been for almost 10 years. But I wanted to serve students who need this guidance the most. Students who don't get into college prep programs, can't afford private services, and who don't have college counselors in their schools. I designed Road to Uni to meet the needs of these students. It's a free, multilingual chatbot that helps students navigate this overwhelming and confusing process. It answers nagging questions at 2 a.m., saves students from reading dozens of articles in search of a simple answer, and reduces their anxiety from fear of taking the wrong next step. If a question gets more personal, an expert college advisor steps in to support them. This hybrid model ensures that students get the quality guidance they need when they need it. The best part is that there is no cap on the number of students we can serve. I'm proud to share that thanks to our earliest supporters, we've served almost 1,000 students so far. We've helped Ayman get into NYU, Mandy get into Baruch, and Kyle get into Stanford. On our roadmap is leveraging the best of AI to ensure that we have the strongest content out there. Then we'll go to market by partnering with high schools and college access nonprofits across the nation. But to do all of this, we need your help. We're fundraising $350,000 to serve 100,000 students by the end of next year. We all need guidance when we're navigating new waters, because no one should have to go at it alone. Join Road to Uni in making students' college dreams a reality today. Thank you.
Restorasi menjadi hal yang sangat bagus untuk dilakukan. Perubahan-perubahan iklim, ya global warming, terus juga semakin banyak berkurangnya biodiversity di seluruh bagian bumi. Trees for Trees adalah brand program kami sebagai lembaga nirlaba yang vokal restorasi lingkungan dan ekosistem. Harapannya adalah bagaimana semakin bisa bertambah tutupan, bisa juga untuk mengurangi iklim dan juga menjadi serapan karbon yang semakin meningkat. Restor membantu Trees for Trees dalam mewujudkan tujuannya tadi sebagai salah satu referensi informasi di biodiversity, di data tutupan lahan, membangun konektivitas jaringan dengan para inisiator seperti halnya memenuhi komitmen dengan para donor, dalam hal ini AstraZeneca, bahwa menanam pohon ini menjadi penting dan kita bisa berkontribusi dengan semakin banyak pohon yang ditanam, bahwa itu akan memberikan dampak yang sangat baik untuk lingkungan kita.
It's no secret. Humans are destroying nature fast. But there is good news. Restoring nature is a huge opportunity. Restoration means returning nature to a healthy state. Doing so can clean our waterways, bring back biodiversity, and literally suck carbon from the atmosphere. Take forests. Scientists estimate that we could restore 1 trillion trees. The climate impact would be the same as grounding every plane for 200 years. These numbers are big, and they've inspired big financial commitments from governments and corporations. But turning top-down commitments into bottom-up action is easier said than done. I'm Clara Rowe, and I'm the founding CEO of Restor. Restor unites every person and project working to bring nature back. Here's how it works. Melvin in Costa Rica opens Restor. He draws a boundary around his pasture, land ripe for reforestation. Restor gives Melvin useful data, like native trees and shrubs. Melvin registers his project, adds photos, and indicates that he needs financial support. Then he clicks on a nearby pin, and he discovers that Josefina has been restoring forest on her farmland. They connect, and she shares hard lessons she has learned. Restor is solving an important problem for funders, too. Our powerful search algorithm connects companies, governments, and big NGOs to projects tailored to their investment criteria. They can then track the progress and impact of those investments. For Melvin, this means that his pasture is now going from brown grass to green trees. And his funders can see that Melvin's forest will have impact equivalent to taking about 1,000 cars off the road. I grew up not far from the deforested slopes of Melvin's pasture. It inspired me to dedicate my career to building equitable sustainability solutions. At the Yale School of the Environment, I met Tom Crowther, a leading expert on restoration. We built the Restor platform in partnership with Google Creative Lab and Google Earth Engine, and we have grown thanks to the support of leaders like Prince William's Earthshot Prize, Salesforce, Google.org, and more. Like in the early days of rideshare companies, Restor pays local ambassadors to build out the marketplace and grow the movement. And it's working. With over 100,000 projects on the platform, we are the largest restoration community in the world. And we're only just beginning. Every urban neighborhood and remote landscape holds an opportunity to heal the planet. We're raising $1 million this year to supercharge our work in India, Brazil, and Costa Rica, places where restoration will have outsized impact on climate and communities. This is the challenge of our generation. We need to solve it now, and we need to solve it together. Join us to restore the planet. Thank you.
Mateo used to have an aversion to reading. He struggled a lot in school, and we couldn't figure out why. In second grade is when we realized and found out that he had a language-based learning disability. We, in the past, have spent thousands of dollars for a program that was just not sustainable for us as a family. Joy Education is an online literacy program which is accessible, it's high quality, and it's affordable. The program started by assessing Mateo and establishing a baseline, and Mateo quickly learned how to associate a letter with sounds, and that was literally the key that he needed to be able to decode words, sentences, paragraphs. There were many times when we would not sleep at night wondering what his future would be like. Now that we know that he's succeeding, that he's growing and thriving, we know that he is going to have plenty of opportunities in his future.
Hi, my name is Demetrius Lancaster, and I am the founder and CEO of Joy Education Foundation. Joy Education is a virtual tutoring platform that helps middle schoolers learn to read. You see, literacy is core to everything, to school, to work, democracy, innovation. But if you're not reading proficiently by middle school, it becomes increasingly difficult to catch up. 1 out of every 5 students has a language-based learning disability, like dyslexia. In wealthier communities, families can pay for time with tutors when their students struggle to read. But this isn't the case for most low-income families. But proven reading science and digital learning tools offer a real chance to improve reading outcomes for more kids. And that's what we're doing at Joy Education. We harness the power of technology and human relationships to help kids read. Here's how it works. We train volunteers on reading instruction based on leading brain science research. And we paired them with students who have language-based learning disabilities in a virtual classroom. We use digital tools to replicate the in-person experience, like a whiteboard, books, letter tiles. We've worked with families in under-resourced communities like the Bay Area and Detroit to pilot Joy Education. And the results are improved reading skills like fluency and comprehension on school reading assessments. Like Mateo, who you met earlier, our students are reading their favorite books with ease and succeeding in every aspect of school. We make Joy Education accessible. To reach families who need us, we partner with schools and community-based organizations. This summer, we will deploy Joy Education with 3 new partners to impact 500 kids. Yeah. You see, for me, this work is personal. I benefited from a community reading program, and it changed my life. I graduated, became a reading teacher, a school leader, and now a tech nonprofit founder. I'm honored to work alongside a core team of technologists, former educators, and reading specialists. We know that a solid reading foundation is critical to all learning outcomes in high school and beyond. Reading changes everything. Every student deserves the opportunity to thrive. We are raising $250,000 and recruiting corporate volunteers to scale our technology to impact 5,000 young readers by this time next year. Together, we can help kids find joy in reading and become lifelong learners. Thank you.
I've been in South Africa for 5 years now, born and raised in Uganda. I first realized that I was different from other boys when I was in high school, but I would always run away from it. It kept on building. I didn't know how to speak about certain things. In fear, if I say this, I am going to be beaten. In Uganda, there isn't so many places that you can go to for queer therapy. I joined Same a few weeks after I had come out to my family. It made me feel so confident in who I am, not just about my sexuality. I really feel like Same is a friend. The Parliament of Uganda decided to pass the death penalty, which has led to a lot of fear. My hope for the future is to be able to be a voice for those who can't speak out for themselves, to show people different shades of love, that it's possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Jono, and I believe that every young person deserves a chance to reach their potential, no matter where they live, no matter who they love. To help them do just that, the team at Same have created a WhatsApp chatbot that provides LGBTQI+ youth with access to private, identity-affirming, and locally relevant mental health support in the palm of their hand. Being a teenager is difficult for everyone, especially for those of us who are queer. Queer youth in South Africa suffer from depression at 4 times the rate of their peers. As a teenager growing up in South Africa, struggling with my sexuality, I knew exactly where the one gay bookstore was, where the one LGBT-friendly clinic was. But like most young people, fears of stigma and discrimination, and even the threat of violence, kept me away, kept me from accessing the services that I needed. Now, a host of new digital services are providing a model for the way that we can overcome some of these barriers and reach young people where they are. But none of these services cater to the specific needs of queer youth who live in places where it's not just difficult to be different, sometimes it is even illegal. At Same, we know that context matters. We're using WhatsApp because it's already on everyone's phones, so it's accessible. It's end-to-end encrypted, so it's safer. And it's light on data, making it affordable for young people to access in places where data charges are still really expensive, even if our service is free. At the core of our chatbot is a self-guided, identity-affirming therapy course based on an intervention that has been proven to boost the mental well-being of LGBTQI+ youth. Wrapped around this course, we've got stories from users like King that help young people feel seen and connected, stories that lead them to essential information about gender and sexuality that is locally relevant. And then, when they're ready, we direct them to the partners that are going to provide them with the next level of support that they need. Young people are discovering our chatbot through social media, through youth ambassadors, and through partnerships with on-the-ground organizations. They're discovering a chatbot built by a team of queer product designers, clinicians, and software engineers who have come together to build what we needed when we were growing up. We've only just launched, but in the last few months, more than 1,000 young people in South Africa have started conversations with our chatbot. We have the support to do this work in South Africa and in Zimbabwe, but we need to be everywhere that young people face adversity and hostility. We need to be in Angola, in Nigeria, and Kenya. With your support and an investment of $250,000, we can launch in a new country, localizing our content, hiring moderators, and partnering with organizations to create new service referral pathways, until eventually young people everywhere understand, yeah, okay, maybe we are a little bit different, but in the end, we are all the same. Thank you very much.
Weren't they amazing? We're so proud of them. And it has been a journey tonight. We have laughed, we have cried. I mean, there were 3 mental health teams. What did we expect?
Our goal is to launch these teams, and with your support, we can do just that. We hope you'll consider supporting them with a gift that's meaningful to you, and you can use the QR code on your screen to donate.
Thank you to our amazing partners for making this event possible. They too believe in the potential of tech to solve our biggest challenges, and they're doubling down because a better world is possible. Thank you for betting on these teams. Thank you for joining us. You want to join me? To the cohort!